Just listen to that soundtrack. It's one of the best aspects of Cosmic Star Heroine. The game has a lot of nostalgic value in its presentation and gameplay. This game is very reminiscent of SNES RPGs like Chrono Trigger or any of the Final Fantasies, and what I like about this indie developed RPG is that it provides about 15 hours worth of fun entertainment with a great combat system and probably one of the best soundtracks you will hear this year. The game moves at a brisk pace, but make sure to stop and chat with all the random people on screen, as some of those interactions are really humorous and definitely worth finding. The game does have some performance issues with infrequent crashes and an ugly green filter that is present while you're using the VR to fight optional enemies and get extra XP. The game continually keeps introducing new characters, so you'll always get new favorites and finding out new moves that you can then use with different characters. And I will say, even with these issues that this game has, I will recommend this game. Come for the nostalgia, but stay for the combat and soundtrack. It's most definitely worth it with Cosmic Star Heroine, a real gem of this year. Now, do you like hack and slash games? Are you looking for a new one? If so, I'd highly recommend Victor Vran. I like to call it Victor Vran because it just sounds fancier. Now, I know this has been out on the PC for a while, but it just came to the PS4 and Xbox One this year, and this is a very fun, content-filled action RPG. The main character is voiced by the handsomely gruff man who voiced Geralt of Rivia from the Witcher series. The simple story is good and told through these gothic-like style images and through in-game dialogue. Now, this is where the game story truly shines, because Victor is antagonized by a creature only known as the Voice, and the Voice will continually throw sarcastic comments at you as you're playing the game. Now, this is where the story gets most of its charm. You'll spend most of your time just smashing anything in your path, acquiring new weapons, and what's neat with the weapons is instead of having specific skills that your character then earns, each weapon has their own specific set of skills, which will really make for a good time of mixing and match with different combos because you can carry two weapons at one time. The game has a lot of replay value there. You got lots of challenges to do. The main game will take you a while to get through, and if you want to complete all the challenges in the game, you can complete all that's there, but once you beat the game, more challenges unlock. So there's a lot of content there, and what's great is that the game can be played in offline and online co-op, and it's a blast. Now, this game feels like a long-lost PS2 RPG, from an era where it seemed like you could blindly throw a dart and you would find a good turn-based RPG. Battle Chasers isn't going to win any awards for the story it tells in the game, but if you're not familiar with the comic series, it will give you a nice peek into its world and lore. The game has a gorgeous art style with colors that really pop. The gameplay is the meat of the game, and it provides a really addictive gameplay loop. You'll have access to a cast of characters that have different abilities familiar to anyone who has played any turn-based RPGs before. But what I like about this is you'll explore dungeons to fight enemies, to level up your characters, and gain better loot. The dungeons can be completed as many times as you like with different difficulties. The dungeons themselves randomize the rooms you'll encounter as you repeat them, so that you can add, so it just kind of adds another element of freshness so that the dungeons don't get repetitive. The game can be rather difficult in times, and I enjoyed the satisfaction of repeating a dungeon a few times to strengthen my characters, to then venture to a new dungeon ready for more adventures. This game goes for around $25 to $30, and I spent 70 hours on my first playthrough of the game because I found the loop of fighting in dungeons and earning rewards so addictive. On top of that, the game has a New Game Plus option, and it's coming to the Switch next year. The game does have some performance issues on consoles that the developers have identified upon release and have been working on fixing them. I encountered many crashes throughout my playthrough of the pre-patched game, and then experienced fewer crashes after they released their first patch. Thank God the game has one hell of an autosave feature because I never lost my progress. Now, I did read that the game runs better on PCs than on PS4 and Xbox One, but either way, it is worth experiencing. I really enjoyed all three of these games this year, and I wanted to highlight them in another video besides my reviews of them because they were smaller titles that I feel like deserve more attention because of how fun they were. Now let me know if you've played any of these games in the comments below, and maybe some smaller titles that you really enjoyed that maybe not everyone played this year, and you want to suggest them down below. Let's have a conversation about it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.